I know that when working with Alan Ball and the other writers of True Blood, you wanted to find someone to create a show that you were okay with. You wanted someone who could understand what you had written. And he took the literary world of Sookie Stackhouse and all of the characters and threw them in a blender and tossed in some of his own stuff, shook it all up, and then see what came out. So he came up with some really interesting things. One of my favorites is Jessica, who is a new character, and she's really, really fun. So I was wondering if, in writing more of the Sookie Stackhouse books, if you were considering integrating some of the new things that Alan brought in into your books.
No. No, I love Jessica too, and I definitely wish I'd thought of her first. But to me, they're separate entertainment vehicles, right?
Yeah.
The show has its own world and its own writers, and some of the characters are sort of the same, but sometimes they're very different.
Yeah.
And that's okay, because I think you're getting two entertainment experiences for the price of one, basically. And I know it can get confusing from people who read the books and then watch the show.
Yeah.
And a few people who watch the show and then read the books tell me on my website that I'm wrong.
Oh my God!
That, you know, actually Eric's maker was not Appius Louis Okella, but was Godfrey. And I'm going, no, not so much. So I think Alan's got a great group of writers, and I think they're super talented. But obviously they've got their own ideas about what's going to make great entertainment on the screen. That's not a consideration that needs to pertain to the books.
Right.
First, you're amazing. There are a few authors that I can't put down their books physically. Like, I have to keep turning pages, and you're one of them. So.
That's always good to hear.
Good. Okay, so when you introduce a new character, do you kind of know the whole arc of where you want them to go? Or do you have just like their basic character traits and let the circumstances and what happens shape who they become, like Alcide?
I invent people, truthfully, the way I write is a disgrace. Because I'm what they call a pantser. That means I fly by the seat of my pants. I never know what I'm going to do before I do it. And I invent people as I need them. I invent people according to the function they have to serve in the book. And then I flesh them out, because to me, the subsidiary characters are the fun characters, the ones you can really let go on. You don't have to worry if they live, you don't have to worry if they die, you can give them a great death. You know, that's the fun part of it, is creating these people and then moving them around. It's a lot like playing paper dolls, but, you know, in a literary way. So that's the part I enjoy, is the creation of the extra characters, but they all have to work. That's the thing about a book. Everyone in it has to carry their share of the load.
Well, you fly by the seat of your pants pretty well.
It's fun.
Hi, Ms. Harris.
Hey.
I had a question and comment. The question that I had is, I've read all the books and I've seen the TV show. Do you have any input on the direction that they're going with the show, since it's based on your books, or no?
You would think, but no, really the general deal is, once you sign over the rights to someone, that's it. You've given them the rights. My control has consisted in picking the person I gave those rights to. And I feel with Alan Ball, I gave them to absolutely the right person. I don't think the show would be nearly as good if it were on network television. I think they would rip the guts out of the books. That having been said, truly, sometimes I watch the show like that. But it's always an adventure for me what they're doing, and I think everyone involved with Alan is amazingly talented. But as far as control, no, not a bit.
Well, we appreciate it, and I hate to say it, but I'd much rather read the books.
You know, that's okay. You can say that very often.
Hi. I just want to say I just started reading the books and I'm enjoying every minute of it. I mean, I only know from the show. I wanted to ask the characters in the books like Lafayette and Tara and them. Are they based off people that you know in real life?
Yes and no. The reason for the ambiguous answer is that, of course, I steal bits of people everywhere I go. And I save them for future reference until I see that I need them to go somewhere. I save descriptions, I save character traits, I save bits of dialogue. Writers are the worst eavesdroppers of any profession. I mean, writers will follow you around a mall to hear the end of a story. No kidding. I once turned around on an elevator to go after a woman because she was telling this other lady a story, and the punchline was, and that's why she became a lesbian. And honestly, I so wanted to grab her and say, tell me the beginning. I really want to listen to this. So I do gather bits and pieces of people everywhere I go, but of course a lot of it's just my imagination.
Great imagination.
Oh, thank you. You know, I was puzzled because I thought no one was in line, and then I realized they were very politely kneeling. I find that very, very nice. Thank you. In Portugal, they curtsied.
Whoa!
I thought, oh, you're raising the bar for my American fans.
I'd like to say that we would love it if every 6 months you came out with a Sookie They've become the highlight of our year now.
I know it's hard from year to year, but truly I do have to, I want to make them as good as I can, and that takes a little more time.
I have 2 questions about Bill. They're very closely related, so I'll ask both of them. One, in the first book, he levitates, and you never use that again, and why? And the second is, why was he able to teach Sookie to use her mind and not anybody else?
Okay, those are good questions. I just never needed the levitation again. If I needed it, he would levitate. But there just hasn't been an occasion when that would be a handy. I mean, I guess if you wanted him to dust high shelves. I just haven't needed it. And the second part is, no, I never did explain that too well, and the reason was because I didn't know the answer. But I think it's possibly because he was just teaching her to use the tools she was born with. She just had never thought of trying to use them in that particular way. That seems a pretty safe answer.